So this is yesterday's headline. Trump doesn't like the so-called Corona relief bill with its pitiful $600 bailout for our citizens. He calls it a disgrace and says, quote, "I'm asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 per couple.
I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items."
So did this guy just wake up from a coma? Where's he been for the last 4 years? Whoever momentarily took over his orange body would have been elected president in a landslide. Oh, wait, hold on a second. No, he pardoned 4 Blackwater mercenaries for murdering 14 unarmed Iraqi civilians, including 2 children. So there's our guy. So the headlines should actually read, yesterday, Democrats, who pretend to be the party of science, economics, civility, and representational government, were outperformed by a criminal psychopath, a reality show host who millions of Americans elected president because they are A, unable to discern truth from fiction, B, think a psychopath best represents their cultural interests, or C, all of the above. Because if your identity is based on a fiction, you'll defend a fraud as if your life depended on it. Speaking of reality, the fraudster in chief really doesn't care. But to his credit, for once in his life, he has successfully owned the libs, led by Nancy Pelosi, whose net worth is $120, $150 million. I've lost count. Anyway, she said for working people, $600 was a lot of money, which is the equivalent of saying let them eat cake to the 26 million Americans who don't have enough to eat right now, disproportionately Black and Hispanic Americans. Democrats should probably just call it the Trump stimulus package, thus forcing Republicans to support their mob boss, who was right this time about wasteful and unnecessary items like nearly $700 billion on defense. Our country spends more on fantasies of war than any other country on earth. Out of this $900 billion stimulus package, very little is going to the people who need it most. $900 billion. Remember that number. Because according to Jeffrey Sachs, one of the world's leading experts on economics, the cost to end poverty is just $175 billion per year for 20 years. Not just for the USA, but the entire planet. This yearly amount is less than 1% of the combined income of the richest countries in the world, and only 4 times the US military budget for 1 year. No more global poverty. If we weren't psychopathic, that's exactly what we'd do.
I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple.
This is the one and only time we need to call our representatives and tell them to support this psychopath, because $2,000 per month is pretty reasonable.